Okay, today we're going to work on solving quadratic equations using the quadratic formula. This is the third method. We used the zero product rule and we completed the square, and now this is using the quadratic formula. So there's 5 steps that you use over here when you want to solve a quadratic equation using the quadratic formula. And first step number 1 is you set the equation equal to 0. So this equation would become 2x squared plus 4x minus 7 is equal to 0. So I move everything over and set it equal to 0. The second step is you identify A, B, and C, your coefficients. A is the lead coefficient, the one in front of the x squared, that's 2. B is the coefficient in front of the x, that's 4. And C is the constant term. In this case, it's negative 7. Third step, don't skip this one. Write down the formula, okay? You won't have to memorize, you won't have to sing any songs if you just do this every single time. So x equals the opposite of B plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c, all of that over 2a. Okay? Fourth step, we're going to plug in a, b, and c into this formula. So I get the opposite of 4, so I get negative 4 plus or minus the square root of b squared. 4 squared is 16 minus 4 times 2 times negative 7. All of that over 2 times a, which is 2. Fifth step, simplify. Negative 4 plus or minus the square root of. 95% of the time, if you make a mistake on this, this is where it's going to happen. Right here when we're evaluating this part, which is called the discriminant. So this becomes 16 minus 4 times 2 times negative 7. So that's negative 56. So 16 minus a negative 56. I'm doing that right. 8 times 56? I think I'm good. All that divided by 4. So now this becomes negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 16 minus a negative. That becomes 16 plus 56, which is 72. All of that over 4. Now at this point I'd be done as long as what's underneath the radical doesn't simplify. But 72, that does in fact simplify, so we have a little bit more work to do. So I'll come up here and I'm going to get negative 4 plus or minus 72. What's our best perfect square for 72? If you said root 36 and root 2, then you got that one right. All of that over 4. So this finally becomes negative 4 plus or minus 6 times the square root of 2. All of that divided by 4. So now I'm all the way down at the end, but do I have it looks like I'm going to be able to reduce this fraction. So I take out the common factor, something that goes into 4 and 6, that's going to be 2. Getting low on the board here, so I take out a 2, and I get negative 2 plus or minus 3 root 2, all of that over 4. And then finally now I can divide out my common factors. 2 goes into itself once, 2 goes into 4 twice. So my final answer, if this is still fitting, I hope, negative 2 plus or minus 3 root 2, all of that over 2. So those would be my 2 answers to that one. Okay, just follow the 5 steps, do the same thing every time. That's as bad as they get. Okay, so if you can do that one, you'll find that most of them are easier than that. Okay, good luck.